ever mixed colors to paint something bright like flowers, but the results turned out more like mud? You may have even used a color wheel to get the right combinations. Well, today we're going to learn about the color wheel and what it really tells us about colors.
Starting with the three primary colors, yellow, blue, and red, we can mix two primary colors to make a secondary color. I use the yellow pencil and layer with the blue to get green. I use the blue pencil and layer it with red to get purple. I use red color and then layer with yellow to get orange. Dip the brush in water to carry the pigment into the entire surface of the paper to get a stronger color. I'll use the secondary colors green, purple, and orange in my works of art. Use secondary colors in your artwork today. In this work of art, you'll use the two techniques that you practiced in the first unit, making color washes and color lines. We will also explore two new techniques, making hard edges and soft edges. Hard edges create a distinct boundary or line between the colors. Here, a hard edge shows where one side of the barn ends and the other side begins. You can see that there is no hard edge on the barn above. The color and the surface is similar on both sides. A hard edge can be made between an object like this tree and the background of the sky. In this painting above, the trees are allowed to blend into the sky and other colors, and the colors in the sky blend into each other. These areas are said to have a soft edge because we just can't quite tell where the edge stops, if we can see one at all. A soft edge is created when water carries colors into each other. Soft edges work well in areas like a sky. Let's make a painting. You can see that I've cut the 9x12 sheet in half. I've drawn a barn in pencil and then filled in spaces with colors. In some areas, I use pure color, and in other areas, I've layered one color on top of another to get a mix. I use the practices done previously so that I know with some certainty what colors I'll end up with when the water is added. The colors in this set are a bit different, but I still have two reds, two yellows, and two blues. For the side of the barn, I want these colors to blend into each other. To do that, I wet the brush and then pull it through the colors. Notice that the brush is never pounded and pushed. I want the hairs to stay together, so I use a pulling motion. I work on the trees while the paint dries on the front side of the barn. Once it's dry, I activated the black shadow with water. Because the area is dry, the black does not blend into the red and orange colors. To get a hard edge, one area of a color must be completely dry. It cannot be damp or almost dry. It must be completely dry. On the side of the barn, I want to mix the black into the colors, so I pull it down into the other colors. Now I've created a soft edge. Now I've created a hard edge and a soft edge. On the roof, I leave some spaces untouched so that the white of the paper shows through. I'm now ready to paint the soft edges of the clouds. Don't be afraid to move the paper so that you can reach into an area like this without dragging your hands all over the wet paper. I like the mop brush to work from light to dark and create soft edges, but you can use the round brush to do similar strokes. Starting in the white area, I work into the color, making my brush go round and round. This prevents hard lines, and I usually dip the brush in the water to keep the area very wet. I can move the color around a bit with the brush. Watercolor, like no other medium, teaches us how to think about our art. We can make our best plans, but the water is the boss. It moves the pigment around and creates surprises. We need to expect surprises. We can learn to be confident that even when we did not plan a certain outcome, that thing that went wrong will usually not hurt our picture, and the surprises that watercolor brings is what makes it fun. Practice feeling confident about your art. Practice not worrying about each and every detail being just the way you expected it. You are learning how to use color knowledge so that you create colors that are closer to what you expect. You're learning how to control the water to make hard and soft edges, and perhaps most importantly, you're learning how to relax and let the unexpected surprises be a good thing. If your painting gets out of control, just stop for a moment and tell yourself that this picture is worth finishing. When you stop, you'll often find ways around that problem that you see. As you can see, I did not let the sky dry before painting the air vent on the top of the roof, and the color bled into the sky. And you can quickly fix problems like this by using a paper towel and picking up the water and the pigment from that area before it dries. Bleeding also happens at the peak of the roof as the black bled into the sky. This area is dry now, so the paper towel cannot pick up the color. Now sometimes you can lift dry pigment from the painting by wetting the area again with a wet brush, and then using a paper towel, try lifting the pigment. In this case, it worked. Other times, you'll just want to not worry about it. Now we move into the final stage of the painting. While the paper is dry, I run my brush along the hard edges. We can say that some of the edges are raggedy. I can make them sharper or straighter by running the tip of my pointed brush along these important edges. This is also a good time to sharpen the edges by using a sharp pencil and drawing some lines. Use dry colored pencil over the completely dry painting. If the area is damp or only partially dry, the pencil cannot make sharp lines. I focus on corners and edges. I'm excited about what you're going to accomplish today. Now it's your turn to find out how your watercolor pencils mix and make a painting with hard and soft edges. Remember, it's all about how you handle the water.
Now it's your turn to make art.
Let's review the steps.